beside you, I want you to turn around to that person and say, Kia ora. Now turn to the other side and say, Kia ora. Also, ladies and gentlemen, greetings and kia ora. Once again, we are the cultural group down here in Invercargill, and we love to be part of the special day here in New Zealand, Waitangi Day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our name for our waka, our group names Waka Tiuki O, meaning this is the new waka or canoe for the next generations. We are the bridges to our little ones and give out our culture and for them to carry on our legacy. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the 7 wakas, alright, the great fleet that once traveled the Pacific Oceans, which is Aotearoa, Kuraopo, Matatua, Tainui, Tokomaru, Te Arawa, and Tākitumu. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the 7 wakas, and there was the 8th one. The 8th one is us, the Waka Ukio. So we are the ones sailing on the land, on the sea, in the air, in your phone, on the internet. We are the Waka Ukio. So ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know, these little ones are very, very inspired and motivated to be part of the Kukalan dancing group. So you're going to be seeing a lot of energy coming from the little ones, also to the seniors. There'll be a lot of smiling, a lot of dancing. Now, back in the Kukalan, ladies and gentlemen, it is always rude when you're just looking. Alright, now if you're feeling that love and there's love in your pocket and just want to get rid of it, oi, we got some little ones over there and there's some benches on their hips. If you don't know where to put that love, they just put it inside their costume over there. Yeah? Deal? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and this us boys over here will be doing the drumming for today. Drumming makes a lot of noise. That's the big part of being a Kukalan. We do a lot of noise. We come up with a lot of energy, a lot of noise, screaming, singing, crying, laughing. That is all being part of being a Kukalan. So ladies and gentlemen, we have 4 shows for you today. Hope you'll enjoy. Now again, if you're feeling the love, wherever you are standing or sitting, or lying down, or looking at us, if you're feeling the love from the beat to our dancers to you, there's nothing wrong or swinging your hips or rocking your knees or being smiled to everybody today, alright? So once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are the Waka Ukio of the Kukalan. Aye, koko, homa. Culture. Now, our first number for today is coming from our little ones over here. We call it the fish and chips. That's the number. Don't ask me why. Alright, little kids over here can be very demanding. Alright, knowing this is New Zealand. See, back home, there is no law against smacking our little ones. Alright? So back home, we call it the learning experience. Now, can I get everybody saying learning experience? Yes, I believe over here you guys call it child abuse, yeah? Yeah, so we cannot have that over here. So, to keep the kids excited, we have to name this number Fish and Chips. Another reason why it's called Fish and Chips. Now, depending on their practice, on their attitude and practice while we're dancing, alright? Depending on their attitude and their energy, if they do good, there is a Fish and Chips shop right across the hall from practice. So that's where the kids all go there after their practice. So ladies and gentlemen, our first number for today is Fish and Chips. Aye, po. boys full store down there. You guys wanted to give it for those little ones over here, or myself, or one of the drummers over here. You're most welcome to do so. Anyway, moving on to our second number for today is our warriors. Ooh. Everybody say, ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, we have over here is 5 boys with very, very young, but over 40 years of experience in the Kukalan dancing. So ladies and gentlemen, I give you our warriors, the Mokorata. Aye, koko! Now these girls, they've been through a lot of dancing, a lot of experience, and at the same time all their confidence and their dancing skills is building, it's building, it's building, it's building. One person like myself who's seen them through all the practices, every day, every practice, they're always improving, improving, improving. Now, this next number, for these girls over here, we call it the sunrise and sunset. Now, reason behind this number, sunrise and sunset, these are the little ones who's coming up, with the older ones have to be in adults and go to work. So these ones over here got free time, so they have to come to practice. Well, pretty much like they don't have any choice, otherwise they get in trouble. Anyway, moving on to our next number, sunrise, sunset. Aye, koko! time with the boys and the girls, which is called the Waitangi. Sorry. So one of our warriors will be coming up and showing you guys the chants, which we call pe'e. Everybody say pe'e. Yes. In our language we call pe'e is a chant going out to our warrior first. Over to you.